welcome to the Basics of Python video series by Urdu IT Academy. Today we are going to learn about file management in Python. So file management is an essential part of programming because it allows you to store, retrieve and manipulate data in an effective way. Okay, unlike variables which will lose their data when the program ends, files provide a way to save information permanently. Okay. So files are used to store data permanently on a computer even after the program stops running. And in Python, we can read from and write to files, making it useful for saving users' data, logs, or configuration settings. Also, it's very useful in data sharing because files is a common way to share information between different systems or programs. Okay, and many applications use files to maintain logs or events or to record the transaction. So the files will allow you to store data that can be used even after the program stops running. Okay, before that, what is a file? So file is a collection of data stored on a disk with a specific name and format. Okay, so it can contain text, images, audio, video, or any kind of binary data. So usually, we have the text files or we have binary files. So text files, it can contain plain text and it will have an extension .txt or .csv. And binary file, it can contain data in binary format. Binary format. Example images, videos, and those which have the extension .exe. Okay. Now, these are different types of file modes in Python. So we have R, W, A, and R plus. Okay. So R mode we are using whenever we want to open a file for the reading purpose, whenever you want to read data from it. And by default, this is the default, R is a default mode. And W we are using whenever we want to write something into the file. Okay. So if you are specifying the mode as W and imagine there is, you're giving a file name. You want to open a file name and you are specifying the mode as W. Imagine there is no file with that specific name. So what happens is that computer will create a new file and it is going to write on that particular file. And suppose if you have an existing file with that name, then it will be rewriting that file. All the previous contents will be deleted and the new contents will be written. Okay. Now A is for append. Append means it will add to the end of the file. Now the difference between this mode W and mode A is that whenever you are using the mode W, which is the writing mode, all the previous data will be erased and the new values will be added. Okay. But A means you're just appending them at the end of the file. Okay. Now R plus we are using whenever you want to, when using the R plus, we can do the reading and writing in a file. Okay. So these are the 4 common modes available in file management. Now, the 4 basic file operations. Okay. So the first one, obviously, whenever you want to do for something related to file, we have Python provides us some built-in functionality to interact with the files through mainly through open function. Okay. So this open function we are using to open a file mainly for reading or for writing. Okay, so we can read data from a file or write data to a file. Okay, and it will handle errors if the file does not exist or it can be accessed. All right, so first thing we can open a file using the open function. All right, now if you want to read from that file, 2 options are there. Either you can use a read function or read lines function. Okay. Same way, if you want to write into a function, you can use a write function or write lines function. Now, the difference between this write function and write lines function is that using the write function, you can only write one line or one sentence at a time. But using the write lines, you can add multiple strings, multiple strings at the same time. Okay. Now, at the end, don't forget always you have to close the file. Okay. Using the close function or using the with statement. Okay, to close the file, we can use a close function or we can use a with statements. All right, you can learn them in detail. Now, Let's see how we can create and write in a file. So first step, as I told you, we need to first open the file. All right. Now, to open a file in the writing mode, first we need a file object. Okay. So in Python, we are using the open function to open a file. So here we need to specify the file name with extension. Okay. Always remember you need to add the extension. So here imagine I'm writing a file name example.txt. Example is my file name. Okay. And we have to specify the mode. Why we are opening this file? What is the purpose of opening this file? So I'm opening this file for writing purpose. So we have to specify the mode as W inside the quotes. Okay. So remember this file name should be inside the quotes and mode should be inside the quotes. Okay. So there are two parameters inside the open function. First one is the file name. Second one is the mode. Now file is the object. So now using this object, we can open this example file will be open for the writing purpose. Okay. Now to write data into the file, we need to add file.write. File means this object, okay, which we have right now created. So file.write function, using the write function, we can write. Here you can see, I'm just writing a string hello students /n means after writing hello student, computer mouse pointer will be going to the next line. Okay. So first I'm adding one line hello student and in the next line I'm again writing file.write welcome to Python file handling. Okay. So I have opened the file example.txt. Now remember if in my computer if there is any file named as example, it will be it will be whatever the contents, it will be erased and the new lines. These two new lines will be added. Hello students and welcome to Python file handling. Okay. Now, if there is no file with the name example, then a new file will be automatically created and these values will be added. Okay. Now, after writing, obviously, don't forget we have to close it, file.close function. After that, I'm just printing normal file written successfully. Clear? So first, I'm opening the file with the mode W. File name is example. Then to write something into file, we can use a file.write function. Inside the bracket, you can add those lines, whichever you want to write in your file. At the end, you need to close it, file.close. Okay, then you can print or, do the normal coding. All right. Now let's see how we can read something from a file. Now to read something, obviously, first we have to open the file. Just like in the last program where we are opening a file for the writing purpose, here we are opening this file example.txt to read content from that. Okay. So I'm creating a variable content. It's a normal variable content equal to file.read, which means this file example we are opening and we are reading the content and it is stored inside the variable content. Okay. After that, obviously we are reading it, we can print it, right? So I'm just printing file content, comma content. These contents, whatever contents we have stored inside the variable content will be printed. Okay. Then we need to close it. Okay, so to read a file, read something from the file, we have to use a mode R. Okay, inside the open function. Now the next one is appending to an existing file. If you already have a file with the name example and you need to add, you don't have to erase the previous data. You just want to add some new data, append a new data. Then you can open the file with a mode A. Same thing, file equal to open inside the bracket file name, comma A. Okay. Now to append mean, you can, once you have opened it in the append mode, you can just use the write function. File.write, something like that. You can write, keep learning and coding. After that, you need to close it. Okay. Then I'm just printing content appended successfully. Okay. Now let's see. Let's do it in the coding. Now here you can see, yeah, I have created a file object file. You can give any name. Okay. There is nothing like it should be always file. Imagine I'm just typing F. F is equal to open. I'm opening the file named as example. Now you can see here also should be F dot write. I'm writing hello dear students. Again, I'm writing one more line. Welcome. F dot write. Welcome to Python file handling. Okay. Now remember after writing, you need to close it. I'm just closing the file using F dot close. Okay. So whenever I'm running it, you can see it saying file written successfully. Okay. Now the thing is that in my computer, let's see if I have any file named as See, there is already a file.example. Okay. There is already a file with the name, sorry, example.txt. So whenever I'm opening it, you can see these are the contents inside that. Okay. Now let's see. Instead of example, you can see file name is example, right? Suppose you can see there is no, I have some other function files like example is there, main is there. These are the Python file .py. One more txt file is there, sample222. Okay. Imagine I'm creating another file name. For example, I'm creating maybe instead of example, I'm just creating a file Urdu IT Academy. Okay. So as you know, there is no file with the name Urdu IT Academy.txt, but I'm opening a file with that name and the mode is W. So since there is no file with that name, whenever I'm clicking the run button, automatically it's saying file written successfully because automatically a new file is created with the name Urdu IT Academy and these contents are added. Let's see. Yeah, you can see a new file is created here. Okay, and the contents are here. Clear? All right. Now let's see how we can maybe how we can uh, open a file, existing file for the writing purpose. Sorry, reading purpose. Okay. So here you can see first thing we need to open it. So maybe I'm adding F equal to open. Inside the bracket, you need to write the name of the file. So Urdu IT Academy.txt, comma, you need to specify what kind of operation you want to specify, the read, write, append. So maybe I'm adding read. Okay. Now in the next line, I need a variable to store the values, right? Maybe I'm creating a variable values equal to f dot read. Okay. So this f object will open the Urdu Academy file and read the contents and it will be stored inside the variable values. Okay. Now I want to print it. So I'm printing values in my file is, okay. I'm just adding slash n so that the contents will be printed on next line, comma, values, these values. Okay. All right. Now don't forget we need to close the file. So f dot close. Okay. Maybe I'm just erasing it. Actually, no need, right? Let's see. You can see it's printed. Values in my file is hello dear students, welcome to Python file handling. Okay. So that is the reading mode. Now let's see the append. Append means a value we can add at the end of the file. Okay. So obviously we need to open the file. I'm using the same file. Instead of R, I'm using the mode A. Okay. Now here we need to write it, right? Append means we need to write. So I'm just adding f dot write function. This I'm just printing. This is the new line added. Okay, clear? So after that, after closing, maybe I'm printing new line added. All right, let's see if it will work. See, it's printing new line added, which means it's done, right? Now let's see if it is added in my file. Urdu IT Academy. See, it's here. This is a new line added. Since I did not add the slash n, it is printing in the same line. That's it. Which means success. It's working. All right. Now, all right. Now let's continue. So that's how we can open a file using the read, write, and append mode. Now, using the with statement. With statement is one of the best practice in file management. So here we can see I'm opening a file, example.txt, mode is R, as file. Okay. So here using the with statement, this is how we do with. Okay. With this statement with open file name, comma more as file. Okay. So you need the colon also. Don't forget we need the colon. Okay. Now I'm adding content equal to file dot read. So the read function will read the contents in the file example and it will be stored inside the variable content. Then we can print it. Okay. Now the main difference, main benefit is that suppose whenever you're opening a file, imagine you accidentally, maybe you forgot to close a file. Okay. Whenever you're using the with statement, if you're using opening the file using the with statement, then by default automatically it will be closed. Okay. That's one of the best thing in file management. All right. Now let's see an example. So this is a program that lets user to add new entries to a diary and view all previous entries. Okay. So here in this code, I have two functions, def add entry and def view entry. Okay. So inside the function add entry, I'm opening the file using the with. Okay. With open, file name is diary.txt for the append. Because adding an entry instead of using the W mode, it's better you can use the A append so that the new content will be always added at the end of the file. Okay. So with open diary.txt as diary, entry equal to input. I'm asking the user to write your data entry so that the user can type whatever they want to add in the file. So whatever the user is typing, we are storing it inside the variable entry. Okay. After that, I'm writing that entry, whatever they have written in my file using diary.write function, diary.write entry plus slash n. Plus slash n means we need the plus slash n because after writing an entry, we want the computer to go to the next line. So that whenever we are adding a new entry, it will be appearing on the next line. Okay. After that, I'm just printing entry added. Same way, the next function view, def view entries, I'm opening the file using the with statement itself. Okay. And I'm printing your diary entries and I'm printing diary.read. All the values which we have read, we are directly printing. We are not storing it in a variable and printing it again. I'm just directly printing it. Okay. Now in the main coding, first thing while true, it's an infinite loop. I'm just giving them the options like type 1 for add, 1 to add entry, 2 to view entry, and 3 for exist. Choice equal to input, choose an option. The user can choose any option in 1, 2, 3. So if the choice is 1, I'm calling the add entry, which will be going here. Okay. So it will open an entry which will ask the user to type an entry and it will be written on that file. Okay. After that, again, the same thing will happen. It will again ask 1, 2, 3. They can choose an option. So if they are choosing to, we'll call the second function view entries to view the details. And if the choice is 3, then I'm just printing goodbye and I'm adding the break. Break will make me go out of the loop. Okay. Otherwise, if the choice is not 1, 2, 3, then I'm printing invalid option. Please try again. So the user can try again. Okay. So all these codes which have used in my program, you can access it from Urdu IT Academy GitHub page. Okay. Now these are the possible outputs. So here you can see if the user has selected the option 1, it is calling the first function and it is asking write your diary entry. Okay. So we have done today I learned Python. So after that, this line today I learned Python will be added in the file. After that, it is printing entry error. Then again asking the same question. Okay. So if we have written 1, again it will ask the same thing, write your diary entry. So I'm printing I wrote a simple diary app. This line will be added in my file. Then it is simply printing entry error. Okay. Then again, again they are asking the options in the while loop. Whenever we are typing 2, it will just execute. Like here it is printing no entries found. Please add an entry first. It's because now remember it is because uh, at that time I didn't add this entry. Okay, this is when I executed the it for the first time. Whenever there is an entry, it will be printing that. All right, don't get confused. All right, now option 3 is for goodbye. All right. Now, these are two assignment questions which you can practice. So, the first question is to write a program to copy the contents of one file into another. Okay, so there will be one file, can give any name and another file. You have to open the first file, read the content, store it in a variable. After that, close that file. Then open the second file in the writing mode and write all those contents which we have already stored in the variable. Just write it on that file. Okay. Or you can do it in your own way. Now, the second question is to create a text file with some numbers and write a Python script to find their sum, which means you have to open a file, read the data, then find the sum. Okay. So you can try. We can discuss these answers in our next video in our series. And as I told you, all the programs we have shown you in this video series, you can access it from our Urdu IT Academy GitHub page. So see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye. Happy learning.